This is a quick start guide of the Excel Skills Financial Statements template. Our financial statements template can be used to compile a basic set of financial statements in Excel, which is based on IFRS for SMEs. Please note, the aim of this template is to make it easy to compile financial statements in Excel. It is not a solution that will always be up to date in terms of disclosure requirements. We do not release annual updates of the template, and the main purpose is to create a simple template which users can use to compile financial statements themselves. So we'll start with this quick start guide by looking at some of the setup options. You can enter your business name at the top of the sheet, which is used as a heading on the annual financial statements. The currency symbol can be entered. Our default currency symbol is South African Rand, but that can be changed. Year-end months. You can specify the year-end month in this field, which will then be used to determine the year-end reporting dates. The reporting year can be used to specify the current financial year. You can therefore use this field to roll the financial statements forward or back. The total number of pages is based on your own setup and print layout, how many pages the financial statements would consist of, and the date of approval can be entered there, or the current date can be used automatically. Let's see what predefined classes we've got set up. On this classes sheet, we've set up all the predefined reporting classes which are used in the financial statements. So on this sheet, there's a class code, a description of the class, and then there's formulas in column C to F, which just indicate whether classes have been added correctly. So if you stick to the default reporting classes, there's no need to edit the sheet. It's only when you add new classes to the financial statements that you would insert a new line in the appropriate section, enter a new class code, description, and copy the formulas in column C to F. We recommend staying with our class naming convention as far as possible. All income statement accounts start with an I, and all balance sheet account sections start with a B. Let's look at the TB sheet next. So the TB sheet is used to include trial balance values for the appropriate financial statement year. The class codes are included in column B, and these are very important because these codes determine where the appropriate accounts would feed into the financial statements. So your account number and description and the balances for the appropriate years need to be added by the user and then linked to an appropriate class. If you use our default setup, it's not necessary to relink any of the classes because they are already linked. But if you include your own class balance, you would put your account number and description in these columns and then need to relink all of these class codes by referring to the classes sheet. Column A contains a status formula which will just indicate whether the class has been added correctly to the annual financial statements. So if a class is linked to an account on this sheet and it hasn't been included on the financial statements, for example, it would show an error here. So all your financial statement amounts, which go into these columns, if you reach the end of the years that are provided in the standard template, you could just copy the last year and create the subsequent year. And so you can continue like that. There's no limit. We've got to the funding flow sheet next. So the Fund Info Sheet contains a lot of financial information that's included in annual financial statements but not derived from trial balance, that is. Examples are property, plant, and equipment, where a lot of additional disclosures are necessary, provisions which are typically included in one account on the trial balance but separated into different categories of provisions in the financial statements, and other items like issued share capital and so forth. So each of these lines have a class code, a predetermined class code that's used to include the appropriate information in the financial statements. Where there's a light blue cell background, it means that we've added a formula which automatically looks up a description based on a predetermined class. Where there's no light blue out, the cell background, you can enter your own description. Column A again has a status which will indicate whether the information has been added correctly. If you do not add any additional information to our standard set of financial statements, it's not necessary to do anything with this sheet. You basically just put zero values everywhere, and then where appropriate based on your company's disclosure requirements, you'll use the rows that are applicable to your business. So next we'll have a look at the IFRS sheet. So the IFRS sheet contains the standard set of financial statements. I'll run through it quickly. We've automated as much as possible, but just to explain in a bit more detail what automation can be found in which sections of the financial statements. So the first part is just a cover page. The next part is a table of contents, followed by just some general information which can be edited in column E, and then a compilation report, which is just a standard report that we've added to the template and that you can replace with the appropriate report based on your entity type and accounting standards. After that, there's a director's report. We've included some formulas where indicated to automate like the review of operations and financial results, but just follow the guidance here. After that, there's a statement of comprehensive income, the income statement, which is basically compiled automatically based on the trial balance. You'll see wherever a row is calculated from a trial balance, we have the reporting class that the calculation relates to in column A. So these are all in green, which indicate that they are based on the TD sheet. So all the accounts that are linked to that appropriate class on the trial balance will be included in this calculation automatically. In terms of the income statement, you can also add additional rows and create classes then on which this calculation should be based. If we go down, then we get to the statement of financial position, which is also automated. You'll see where there is no class in column A, and there's a note reference here. The calculation is based on the calculation in the note down below, and feeds the total will automatically feed into the balance sheet. So your class calculation can be found in the note. If we go down further, we have the statement of changes in equity, which is automatically compiled. Below that, we have a statement of cash flow, which is also calculated automatically. Then we have the start of the notes to the financial statements. You can see there's a number of standard notes that we've included. Also, you'll see some of the reporting classes in column A are green, which means that they calculated from the trial balance sheet. And some are red, which means that they calculated from the funding first sheet. But the formulas that are used are exactly the same. So if you need to add additional classes to the notes, you can do so by inserting a new row, copying one of the existing rows, and changing the reporting code in column A. That would work for both the TV and Fun Info classes. If you do not need all of the notes, we recommend hiding the notes that you do not need instead of deleting them. If you delete some of the notes and the totals or individual amounts are used elsewhere in the financial statements, you would encounter an error. That's why we recommend hiding instead of deleting. So when you hide a note, what you need to do is remove the note number. So you just click on the note number and press the delete key. What you then would see is that the mixed note would then automatically get that note number. So I'm just going to undo it in this case. Once you've identified all the notes that you're not going to need and before hiding them, you also need to review the page layout and to see where your page breaks are. So you can move your page breaks, and you also need to have a look at whether the headings of your pages are in the correct locations. If not, you need to move these rows to the correct areas so that your headings are printed at the top of the pages and your page breaks fall in the correct places. The last sheet in the template is a KD import sheet, which can be used to include the trial balance data for a new financial year in the template by including the account number and description and the trial balance amounts in column C. Column D and E contain formulas which check the sequence by comparing the sequence on this sheet with the sequence on the TB import or the TB sheet. If there is a discrepancy, it will be highlighted. The amount column also rounds all amounts to the nearest integer to ensure that the financial statements always add up correctly. That's basically it for the quick start guide. If you need more information on the financial statements template, you can go to the instruction sheet where we've included all the necessary information. You can also view the sports section of our YouTube channel. We will include additional videos based on user feedback.